Fresh Express Coleslaw, just $1.99 for a 14-ounce package. For your cut match grilling, Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Wishbone salad dressing, just $3.49 for a 15-ounce bottle. Kingsford Match Light Charcoal, only $7.99 for a 3.1-pound bag. Blue Ribbon, white hot dog or hamburger rolls, just $3.59 for a 12-ounce package. Have a safe and happy cut match holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, July 26, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Police are calling for witnesses to an early morning road traffic crash in Warwick that damaged a electricity utility pole, leaving some residents without power. The single vehicle car crash happened at around 3:30 a.m. in the area of South Road as the driver was headed in the eastbound lane. The 30-year-old driver from Pembroke was hospitalized for cuts to his ear. He was treated and later discharged. Belco personnel were called to the scene to repair the downed utility pole, resulting in traffic diversions. Traffic flow along South Road in Warwick near Southend started returning to normal around 8 a.m. Any witnesses are asked to call the main police telephone number on 295-0011. And buses are back on the road this evening after drivers and support staff downed tools early this morning. A water problem had left the bus depot at Fort Langton with no running water or flushing toilets, but works and engineering fixed the problem and buses were back on the road shortly after 9 a.m. The Department of Public Transportation has apologized for the inconvenience. New stats examining the number of sexual assaults on the island show that more people have reported being victimized than you might think. Intern Nasir Simmons takes a look at the scale of the problem, and we must warn you that some viewers might find the topic to be upsetting.
Sexual abuse is a specter that hangs over Bermuda, an underreported and pervasive blight on the island. 1 in 3 adult residents say they were victims of sexual abuse before they reached the age of 18. Bermuda Health Council research shows that the majority of victims knew their abuser, identifying them as either family, friend, or neighbor. In the grim ranking of incidents of rape per capita, Bermuda is 5th in the world according to the United Nations. But this is only reported cases, which make up only a portion of the assaults actually committed. The UN estimates that more than 90% of rapes go unreported. Here in Bermuda, only 41% of sexual abuse victims disclose their experience to anyone else, and most of those waited 25 years before talking about it, according to findings shared by the advocacy group SCARS. This eye-opening statistic raises a question: why wait so long before reporting abuse? Sexual abuse goes unreported for various reasons. The Medical University of South Carolina and the U.S. Bureau of Justice found that the reasons include fear of retaliation, uncertainty about whether a crime was committed or if the offender intended harm, not wanting others to know about the rape, not wanting the offender to get in trouble, fear of prosecution or getting in trouble themselves due to the involvement of alcohol, underage drinking, or substance use, and lack of faith in local law enforcement. There is also a valid fear of being blamed for the attack. For example, being told that you should dress or behave differently to avoid sexual assault, or being blamed for the consequences of addressing the crime. While 90% of sexual abuse victims in Bermuda are female, the problem is strongly linked to violent crime, which predominantly affects men. The Caribbean Journal of Criminology and Social Psychology studied violent offenders to discern the root causes of their behavior. Participants cited what they viewed as major factors in their life experience, including child abuse, child sexual abuse, domestic violence, and street-related violence. Clearly, these growing forms of violence are inherently linked and can, at times, feel inescapable. But help is available. The SCARS website, www.scarsbermuda.com, for example, has a wealth of information about how to report abuse and access resources. This is Nasir Simmons, reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Nasir. Well, coming up, Cup Match is coming, the latest weather news and more. Stay with us.
I know I'm overweight and now my blood pressure is getting higher. At my last visit to the doctor, she mentioned that my cholesterol is also high. My doctor wanted me to come back more frequently and I wanted to work with her, but I can't afford the copay or my medicine.
Imagine a Bermuda where copays are affordable and every person can access the care they need. A message from the Ministry of Health.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Unity Fest is slated to be the biggest concert of the summer with headliner Bougie Bonton, and it got a whole lot better with the local lineup being announced. So on August 17th at National Sports Center, you're going to see Bougie Bonton, Rainy Wonder, Agent Sasko, aka Assassin, and Massacre are expected to be on stage along with local artists Jesse Seymour, Kadanger, Live Wires, all backed by the Wall Street Band. And there's a whole DJ lineup for the night, including the mighty Stone Love out of Jamaica. There's also local DJs, DJ Chubb, DJ iBreeze, Juggling Jason, Black Star, Blacker Knights, Tony Cross, Ryan Saeed. And Unity Fest is hosted by Java and Young Chow of New York's Hot 97. There are limited tickets left, so make sure you buy them at www.unityfestivalbda.com. But if you want to buy them locally, you can get them at People's Pharmacy, Choices, and Summer Supermart in St. George's.
Welcome back. Well, it's hard to believe, but the Cup Match holiday is just days away. We asked Shay Thompson, the Bermuda Tourism Authority's Experience Development Manager, to tell us what's going on for locals and our tourists during one of Bermuda's favorite holidays.
Well, Cup Match, Diane, as you know, is a busy time of year for us. There's quite a bit happening. From a BTA standpoint, we're really excited about a new initiative that we're doing, which is a visitor-curated experience at the actual cricket game. Again, we partnered and did a similar package with some cultural events earlier this year around the annual peppercorn ceremony and Bermuda Day, and they went extremely well. So we made the strategic decision to do an elevated experience for this year's Cup Match. So we're really excited about that. We know that all the visitors that are on island are looking for a culturally immersive experience. They want to hang where the locals hang, they want to drink the signature drinks, and they want to mix and mingle with locals. So we're really excited about this new VIP experience that we're actually doing at the cricket event. And in addition to that, again, it's going to be a busy weekend. We have the Cup Match Fever after party happening on the Friday night. We have the Bacchanal Run hosted by Party People Entertainment happening on the Saturday night. And if anyone who hasn't done the Bacchanal Run is definitely want to experience paint and powder in a very controlled atmosphere, of course. And then, of course, you have to experience Bermuda by the water. So we know it's a little bit hot out here right now. So again, we have the Sunday annual raft up parties and a bunch of raft up events taking place on the water.
Where will the BTA be?
Mostly at the cricket match. Again, we're going to have a stall at the cricket match. We're doing fast track entry for guests that have purchased our curated pass. Once they get on the field, we'll be strategically located by the clubhouse, so they'll receive reserved seating. We'll have hosted ambassadors, complimentary drinks. We're really going to make sure they have a really great time.
Your initiative is tied into your whole plan, to your master plan.
Yes,
can you tell me how it's connected?
So our national tourism plan talks a lot about frictionless experiences. So what, again, we want to do when we mean by frictionless experience, making it easy for the visitor from start to finish, making it easy to find out about information, or making it easy for them to book, make sure that they have a great time while they're on island. So we want to make sure that this elevated experience that we're doing does that, and it ticks off the right box, and it provides all the components that our visitors are saying that they want.
Can we talk about Airbnb? Are you seeing more of the tourists staying at Airbnb versus the hotels, or is it just kind of an even distribution?
Well, we're definitely seeing a lot more inventory on Airbnb, so I think the Airbnb market is doing quite well. The hotels are also, they still have their guests. If you're a hotel guest and you're looking for those type of amenities, then you're going to stay at a hotel. So I think that the Airbnb traveler is looking for a specific experience, while the hotel traveler is looking for another experience.
And one of Bermuda's favorites, Ashley's Lemonade, we had to find out where they're going to be over the long holiday for our lemonade fix.
We are going to be at the St. George's Cricket Club, squeezing and pleasing.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
And are you going to be throughout the weekend? Where can we find you?
Let's see. Both days of Cup Match, we're going to be there. Day before a Cup Match, we're going to be on our regular spot on Reed Street, outside the stationery store. Wednesday night, Harbor Night. There you go. Our idea is to get everybody cool. There you go.
In other news, you may recall big news on the financial front this week with the government announcing its latest partnership with digital asset company Circle, redomiciling its subsidiary here, and a promise to create about 30 new jobs. Jasmine Patterson sat down with CEO Jeremy Allaire at the Hamilton Princess to find out more about the company.
What drew you to Bermuda in the first place, and what are your expectations?
When we looked at expanding globally, ultimately we wanted to find a country that was focused on the innovation that is possible in this space, so that we could both be a regulated financial institution and have the kinds of supervision and protections that are important to finance, but also work with a government that was progressive in how it's thinking about what's possible with digital assets. And we very much found that with the Digital Asset Business Act, with Premier Byrd's government. And so that really initially drew us.
There still remains a lot of deep skepticism. Why should we put faith in Circle?
First, just with kind of cryptocurrency itself, it's a major new disruption, it's a major new technology, and it has to do with something that is something that people care a lot about, which is money. And so people should be inherently skeptical about breakthrough technologies and money, because it's such a critical pillar of the way the world works. But I think inherently people have a hard time grasping the idea that money might work the way the rest of the internet works. We live in this world where we can instantly communicate with anyone anywhere for free. We can access all the world's knowledge, publish any information to anyone anywhere, access every good product, service from anywhere in the world. All those have been made possible by this open internet. And so an open internet of finance holds a very similar promise, which is that people can exchange value with anyone, anywhere. In terms of trusting Circle, we have advocated, and sought really from when we started the company 6 years ago, progressive regulation of firms in the space. We believe that if you're a firm that is custodying people's digital money or facilitating payments with digital currency or providing trading and investing type products and services, that regulations make sense, and regulations exist because there are bad actors. There's fraudsters, there's people who will abuse markets, there's criminals that want to use these things, and so you have to have some set of common rules there. And so ultimately that is a kind of contract that we have with governments, but in turn with society as a whole. And I think Bermuda obviously has a strong reputation from a regulatory perspective, and that is ultimately one of the reasons why we chose to domicile here.
Circle intends to hire about 30 staff for an office here in Bermuda. What needs to happen before that can come to fruition?
Receiving the Class F digital asset business license was critical. Setting up the business and the entity was critical. And now we're proactively recruiting for key senior roles that will also be hiring managers to hire other roles. So that's an immediate task. And so really now it's about hiring the right talent.
Will you be searching locally?
Yes, absolutely.
And that was Jasmine Patterson reporting. Turning to weather news, a beautiful, mostly dry weekend ahead. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast on ZBM is brought to us by the folks at the BF&M Insurance Group. It's a little bit stormy just off to the west, and we do have a thunderstorm advisory in effect here through the early evening hours with some scattered thunderstorms across the area, at least a possibility for several more hours. But at first glance, you can see we're right on the eastern edge of this big band of moisture, and there are some areas with very unsettled weather between the east coast of the United States and Bermuda. To the east, it's a little quieter, but here's the satellite estimated rainfall, and you can see a decent cluster of showers and storms, especially just to the west of our location for much of the afternoon and early evening. It is warm and humid out there. We're at 85 degrees, humidity still holding at 70 to 75%, similar to yesterday. The wind is from the southwest at 10 to 15 knots, and also there aren't many changes with that very warm water temperature at 87, almost like bath water out there. On the inside, we have 1 to 2 foot waves. On the outside, they are 3 to 5 feet, so just under the threshold at which the Bermuda Weather Service would issue any boating-related alerts. But our concern is tied to lightning. Thunderstorm advisory remains in effect early this evening, so be careful out there, and because of that, boating is probably not the best option unless you are sure things are clear in your area. But again, there are some storms lurking nearby. So tonight, the tide is going out until 10:55. Then we'll have a reversal with high tide at 4:45 a.m. Saturday, low tide in the late morning, 10:49 a.m. High tide 5:28 on your Saturday afternoon. So it will be a weekend with some scattered showers around. And as we kick it off here this evening and tonight, stray showers and thunderstorms are possible. Lows around 79. A very warm night as we're locked into this humid weather pattern. Tomorrow, partly sunny for most of the day. It'll be muggy out there or humid, and there will be a couple of showers here and there. 87 degrees, your anticipated high. Stray lightning strikes not out of the question. As we look at the futurecast here, you can see the band of moisture generally remains to our west, but we're close enough to it that we're in the zone here where there may be some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms. Into the Caribbean we go, and in Jamaica it's a warm, stormy setup, scattered thunderstorms. Barbados looks good, very warm though, and in Trinidad and Tobago we're around 90 with spotty showers there. And no tropical threats are on the map. It's a quiet setup across the western Atlantic from that standpoint. So despite the showers and storms nearby, we do not have anything ominous lurking at this point regarding possible tropical development. No tropical storms or hurricanes expected in the next 5 days anywhere in the Atlantic basin, including the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and the western Atlantic as well. Our extended forecast has a fairly unchanging weather setup. 87 for your high, 79 at night. Spotty showers and thunderstorms over the next 4 days with this moisture band just off to our west. Wednesday looks a little drier and maybe a tiny step less humid, maybe allowing us to get down 1 extra degree cooler on Wednesday night.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's with BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always been seemed to be with Bermuda Fine Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition because then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
You're watching the Friday edition of Bermuda Tonight. Well, Public Works Minister David Birch today updated the public on a government scheme to train and promote Bermudian engineers. Minister Birch today highlighted some of the Bermudians who were employed with government and had completed advanced training overseas. One of them was Remy Saber, a former trainee and graduate of Western New England College who began his career as a trainee and is now the principal electrical engineer. He has been instrumental in recruiting other Bermudians for engineering roles.
We have Giroux. Giroux is my electrical energy consultant who came on board roughly about, not up to a year, but almost a year ago. His primary purpose is energy savings. So he's basically going around to all the schools. He's surveying primary schools, high schools, middle schools to save energy through lighting and air conditioners, and basically anywhere where we can consume energy or save energy. Also, we have Zico Johnson, who's recently back from Toronto doing a secondment with Acorn. That's her from Zico. Yes, that's her from Zico. I recently got back to Toronto from a secondment with Acon and H.H. Angus. There I designed a lot of heating and cooling systems for commercial buildings, usually ranging from 2-story up to about 6 or 7-story buildings. I learned a lot there. I learned Revit and new 3D modeling of buildings and structures, which I used to try out on King's Wharf. And
yeah. Also, we had Jamar Deal sent on secondment. We had Jamar Deal sent on secondment with Zico Johnson. Zico is a mechanical engineer. Jamar Deal is electrical, but Jamar Deal unfortunately couldn't be with us today because he had, obviously family duties and whatnot. And we also have our summer students who have been a wonderful talent over the past 3 summers, starting with Lance Braun. This is our star summer student.
Earl Bays will have all the latest sports news after the break. Stay tuned.
You can count on us.
Get grilling this cup match with certified Angus beef bone and ribeye steaks. Only $16.99 per pound. Whole seedless red ripe watermelons, just $12.99 each. Hellman's mayonnaise, only $5.49 for a 30-ounce jar. Hunt's barbecue sauce, just $2.09 for an 18-ounce bottle. Sargento shredded cheese, only $3.89 for a 7-ounce package. Shelley Bay, Heron Bay, Modern Mart, and Price Right Warwick stores will be open both days of cup match from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You can count on us.
Rise Inferno, in association with Driven Society, presents Island Soul Fest Night 2. Saturday, July 27th at the National Sports Center, Northfield. It's Little Kim.
You gotta go alone.
Jacquees.
Met her in the club. All the polish showing up.
Hood Celebrity.
Said you are walking trophy. You are walking trophy.
Kenjale Taylor. Live in Bermuda, Local X, Briggs, and Olivia Hamilton.
I come from Bed-Stuy.
Music by DJ Rusty G, Juggling J, and Twin Star. Early worn by Presidential Elite and hosted by Bernie Mac. Regular tickets are $75, more at the gate. VIP $150. Gates open at 8 p.m. It's Island Soul Fest Night 2. Saturday, July 27th at the National Sports Center, Northfield.
Bermuda, what it do? You already know who it is. This is the one and only Jacquees. Catch me at the Island Soul Festival.
Kim McCallan is no stranger to the local powerboat racing fraternity. The one-time Commodore will suit up this coming Sunday and compete in the St. Clair River Classic in Michigan as a pilot against 11 male competitors from various parts of North America. This will be her first time piloting the 30-foot Phantom on the lake shores. Therefore, she will be closely working with her team as she hopes to be standing on the podium at the end of the race. Ian Rollins spoke with her by phone.
I know the guys expect to be on the podium, and for me, I'm just going to go and do the best that I can do, and to be on the podium actually would be a great thing. Sunday's race is actually on a lake. 2 weeks ago, I was in Charlotte and testing on a lake, so I'm familiar with lake waters to actually drive on. The only difference is the route. Each route is different for each actually race location. This one actually has a dog leg on it. I feel comfortable, racing in the boat. Nerves, yeah, everybody gets nerves, I think, when they get to race, and I think mine are kicking in now. In my particular race, I'm racing against all men. Wow. There are females that are racing, but that's in a totally different class.
So where's this race going to be held on Sunday, as in what part of the States?
It's actually being held in St. Clair, Michigan, which is on the shore side there in Detroit. We can actually, in a race, do up to anywhere between 90 and 95 miles per hour, going into turns anywhere between 80 and 85 miles per hour.
When you go up against these drivers, and they know you're not from the United States, know you're from Bermuda, what is their response when they find this out and know about your experience?
They're actually a bunch of really great guys. Support is definitely there.
Best of luck to you, Kim. The race will get underway at 1 p.m. Bermuda time and can be seen live on Facebook this coming Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Earl Basin has tonight's sports report now.
The 18th FINA World Championships continued in Korea. Jesse Washington was back in action, competing in the men's 100-meter butterfly. Washington would finish 7th in Heat 3, touching the wall in a time of 57.29 to finish 61st overall. Madeline Moore took to the pool to compete in the women's 50-meter butterfly. She would finish 8th in Heat 4, clocking a time of 28.02. Bermuda Olympic sailor CeCe Woolman has been given the honor of leading out her country at the Pan American Games in Lima, Peru by Chef de Mission Brendan Smith King later this evening. The Pan American Games are underway with Bermuda professionals Micah Franklin and Noah Brown taking to the squash courts for individual and doubles play on day one of competition. Franklin took on Israel Alagar from El Salvador, and Franklin would advance, defeating his opponent 3-1. Alagar won the first set 11-6, but Franklin leveled the game, winning the second match 11-8. Franklin would then take a 2-1 lead when he won the third match 11-8, and then he would close out with an 11-4 fourth game win. Brown would take on Maximiliano Pizarro from Chile in their match, and Brown would fall 3-1. Brown won the first match 11-8, but Pizarro would win the second game 12-10. Pizarro would then take a 2-1 lead when he won the third match 11-3. Then he would close out the match winning 11-5. Brown and Franklin would then take to the court for the men's doubles, and they would take on Chile. The Bermuda pair would come from a game down to win 2-1. Unfortunately, Franklin would have to play his second individual game of the day, and his third match of the day, he would take on Arturo Salazar Martinez from Mexico. He would go down in straight sets 11-7, 11-7, 11-5. Bowling also got underway in Lima, Peru, with Damian Matthews and David Maycock taking to the lanes to begin the men's doubles first block. Patrice Tucker and June Dill competed in the women's doubles first block. The first block sees 16 two-man teams bowl 6 games each and then return on Saturday to bowl the second block. The Bermuda pair came off the lanes in 12th place with 2,418 pins. Maycock bowled 1,250 pins, while Matthews bowled 1,168 pins. Dill and Tucker finished 16th with 1,952 total pins, with Tucker scoring 1,011 pins and Dill having 941 pins. Tucker's best game came in the fourth game, where she scored 198 pins, while Dill produced her best game in the fourth game as well, bowling 187 pins. Bermuda's national coach Herbie Bascom picked up his first win as the senior men's coach as the national team put together a solid performance in defeating the Bahamas at the White Hill Field by 162 runs yesterday. Bermuda got off to a dream start with openers Treadwell Gibbons and Pierre Smith putting on 136 runs for the opening wicket partnership. Bermuda would go on to score 269 for 7 in their allotted 50 overs. Gibbons would lead Bermuda in the batting department, scoring 102 before retiring hurt. Gibbons faced 109 balls, hitting 10 fours and 2 sixes. Smith added 50 before he was the first wicket to fall. In reply, the Bahamas were bowled out for 107. Ryan Tappan was their top scorer with 24, while Mackay McGowan was the pick of the Bermuda bowlers with figures of 7 overs, no maidens, 4 for 29, while Kwesi James bowled 5 overs, no maidens, 3 for 19. Daniel Phillips took to the tennis courts for the second match in the Bilbao Junior Tennis Tournament, which is part of the Rafa Nadal Tennis Tour. Phillips, who is ranked 4th in the boys under-14 division, took on Ignacio Romiera. Phillips would advance, but he would need 3 sets to do so. Phillips won the first set 6-1, but he would fall in the second set in a tiebreaker 7-6. The third and final set saw Phillips win 6-3. Kenny LaJoie concluded competing at the Blue Monster at Doral in the Optimus Bowl Junior Golf Tournament. LaJoie shot a final round 9 over par 80 to finish 7th overall. LaJoie's round consisted of 1 birdie, 9 pars, 7 bogeys, and 1 double bogey. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
When he first picked up a bowling ball at the age of 5, Damian Matthews had no idea that one day he would stand proudly on the podium at the CAC Games with a bronze medal around his neck. Damian started winning local junior bowling tournaments in his early teens and hasn't looked back since. Now 33, he is driven by self-belief and a never-give-up attitude that has brought success home and abroad. Damian would like to take part in Pro-Am events on TV and gain greater exposure on the world stage. The Pan Am Games give him his biggest chance to shine.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce, and an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world, and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
That's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Good night.